everybody, and welcome to Just Meesh. Happy Thursday. Y'all, I just realized that my mixer does that. So I'd like to introduce you to our new intro. So this week on Just Meesh, I wanted to talk about a subject that is very near and dear to my heart. This episode is called What About Your Friend? And I wanted to discuss being a better friend. And I feel like this is so personal to me because I have learned so many lessons over the years about friendship that I wanted to share. So, first of all, I wanted to start off with a story. Not really a story, but kind of a story. My best friend's birthday, my oldest friend, we met when we were 6. Carly, shout out to Carly. Her birthday was the other day, and when I was at home, when I was in Kansas City, this December, we were talking about how we met. Now, while we don't remember like how we met, we did meet when we were 6 in kindergarten. And so, was it? No, I'm sorry, first grade. So, because like we knew of each other in kindergarten, but we didn't actually become friends until we were in first grade. Shout out to Miss Scott's class. Miss Scott was the best first grade teacher ever. I remember she used to have these, she used to wear like leggings and big t shirts and these tennis shoes, and she would always have these curly um what are they called? Shoelaces. She would have them curly shoelaces. She was so cute. But so Carly and I, we met when we were 6, and so Carly, she was like, "Thank you for well, I can't remember the word she used, but I think she said like, "Thank you for making friendship with me." And I was like, "Carly, we don't remember who made friendship with whom. So, like, we were literally 6. We don't remember how it happened." And she was like, "No, if it were up to me, we would have never been friends." And the thing is that Carly is my little introverted boo boo. My best friend, it's so funny because I didn't even realize that she was introverted until we got older, because honestly those weren't words that we used while we were growing up. It was a very new phrase for me. I think I realized I'm not really sure when the terms introvert and extrovert started being I should say like a wider topic um until I feel like I was in college, and she was like explaining to me. So Carly, when she was in college, she used to watch Awkward Black Girl by Issa Rae. Now, I I'm sometimes I will think that I'm awkward, and I'm like, no, like y'all, I have like awkward thoughts in my head, and my friends are like, but you're not awkward. And I'm like, that's fair. But Carly, she is my little awkward black girl, and I just love her to death. And she is the one who like pointed out like, no, Misha, like I'm an introvert. Me and Carly are very opposite. I would dare say I was an extrovert. I At this point in my life, I feel like I'm an ambivert, but sometimes I feel like it's chosen. It's just like, because of my circumstances, like I live in LA, everything is super expensive. I'm 33 now, so I don't be, for real outside. So, but sometimes I feel like if I had the means to do it, I would be outside more. But like Carly is an introvert at heart, and I'm an extrovert. And she, just her pointing out, like, no, we know that you chose friendship with me because you are you and I am me. And it reminded me of my dad. He always will be like, you have to know your friends. And one of the things that I wanted to discuss is the different phases of friendship. So, whenever I was younger, I always had friends. Like, I'm a very friendly person. Like, I know how to be friends with people, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I don't, one of the things that I want to touch on is making friends too quickly. Now, this is what I feel like, is kind of the first phase of friendship a lot of the times, because, like you meet somebody and it's like, oh my gosh, like they're so great, blah, blah. I'm the type of person that will just like takes, or used to be, I should say, used to be the type of person that would just like meet somebody and we hang out a couple times, several times, and it'd be like, we are best friends. This is it. like we are best friends. We know one another so well. We've hung out for a whole 30 days straight. This is it for us. And while this, sometimes it is love at first sight with friends. I also do believe in friend soulmates. I'll get to that point. Um, but a lot of the times, especially when you're younger, you're in high school, you're in college, you're in middle school, and it's like a lot of times circumstances will bring you together. Being in the same classes, going everywhere, going to all the same places every day will sometimes force a friendship on you. And I have been in situations a lot of the times where I'm like, okay, like I really like this person, like we're really cool. And I think that we're so close or we're going to be so close, but I get to a point where it's like, I don't really, I'm not really meshing with this person like I thought I would. And then you end up in this like really weird situation where you're like, okay, like I still want to be like cool with you, but I don't want to be like best friends. So with that, I think that the best way to combat that is honestly just to move slowly. I think that like any relationship, like a a platonic or a romantic relationship, it's a lot the same. Very much the same. Cause I think that a lot of times, especially when it is just a friendship, we tend to let our guard down more easily because you're not thinking like, oh, I need to protect myself against this person. Like they don't really want nothing from me, blah, blah, blah. And you just sell yourself really quickly. And that can get you in a lot of trouble. And if not, like any overt trouble, but definitely sometimes, emotional trouble. Because it's like after the honeymoon phase is has gone, it's like, are me and this person still gonna be, in the paint together? So I think that that is, very important to just go slow. Go slow in friendships and relationships. But this is about friendships. So I think that, that's the first phase of friendship. And I think that, like I was saying, you just you have to know your people. I feel like once you have done that like beginner stage and you get past the 30 days, you get past the 60 days, and you're like, okay, like no, I actually really mess with this person. Like I want them to be a part of my life. I think the next phase, is really getting to know them, and not in a way that's conducive to you. One of the biggest mistakes that I have made in friendship is only, how should I say this? Like, only accepting the things that I want to accept, or even seeing the things that I want to see. Because I think that sometimes it's hard to like tell a new person, especially sometimes like, oh, I don't agree with that. Or or like, I don't really, cuz once you've been established for such a long time, or you're trying to get something established, you have a lot of hope in it, and it's like man, like, maybe if I say this, they won't really like it. And a lot of this too is for younger people too. Like if you find yourself in situations where you're just having to go along with a lot of stuff, like you really have to consider, like, is this person my friend? Is this somebody who has my best interest at heart? Because I think that a lot of times, because of rushing into friendships for, one reason or another, feeling lonely, feeling like, like we're in this same space together, so we're just going to get along. you try to like change yourself for people. Excuse me. And it's very important not to do that. There's no reason that you should have to change yourself for anybody. And also, nobody should have to change themselves for you. I've been in a couple friendships where I feel like the my friend felt like even I wanted them to be something different or do something, and I'm like, maybe this friendship just is not working for us like as a unit. And I think sometimes when you get so deep into a relationship with somebody, um you don't really think about, okay, well, what if this is not going to work? I think that, sometimes a lot of times you think about it in the very beginning, but then it's like once you get to the meat of it, it's like, is this going to work? So you have to know your friends, you have to know yourself, and also you have to know your boundaries. So without getting too personal, I feel like I don't feel like I had a friend who I realized that, well, it took a while for me to realize it, but I was just like, the boundaries that they had were affecting our friendship. And I genuinely felt like that person just didn't trust me. And once it got to that point, I was like, there's nothing that I can do for you, because I genuinely felt like I'm not doing anything for you to feel like this. And so we should probably sever this relationship. And I think that it's important to, while you are respecting other people's boundaries, to respect your own. And I think that me being the type of person that I am, I a lot of times will just go with it, because I'm, very accepting of people, very like, whatever. Now, one thing that I can say about me, baby, I was not always like that. I definitely had to grow out of being the controlling friend. Now, this, you talking about had to do some work, honey, because you are not your friend's parents. You are not your friend's parents. Don't tell them what to do. You can suggest things when they open up the floor for you to be like, hey, can you give me some advice on this, blah, blah, blah. But you have to know where to draw the line. Because I think a lot of times with me, I was just like, with certain people, I would feel like, oh, well, they just don't know. And it's like, girl, who do you think you are? Like, they got a mama. You don't have to do that. So I think that just one of my biggest issues with friendship was learning to let go, and just always feeling like I had the right answers. And I really had to do a reality check, like, girl, who the hell do you think you are? Like, what makes you think that you have all the right answers for somebody else? Like, you don't even have them for yourself. So I think that, a big deal in friendship is just letting go, knowing that you cannot control people and you have to respect people's boundaries. And sometimes you learn with your boundaries, with their boundaries, like, this is just not going to work. And that is totally fine, because it is a relationship. And I think that in that comes now this is, I wasn't sure if I was going to discuss this or not, but here we go. So with that comes, grieving friendships. So this is a big deal to me. And I was talking to my friend Tiana the other day, and I was discussing one of my older friendships, like from when I was a teenager, and I I started crying. Mind you, I'm 33 years old, and this particular friendship, I was very close to this person, very, very, like, I just knew we were going to do life together. Like, I had known this person my whole life, blah, blah, blah. And, some events just severed the relationship. And when I walked away from it, it was very, like, it was not uh respectable type of situation. Like it was literally like, oh, one night we're done. Like this is blocked you, like it's over type deal. And I was discussing this with my friend T, and I, crying tears. And when I kind of refocused, I was like, I don't talk about that much. Like I realized that I once it was over, like it was done. It was absolutely done. It was almost like this unspoken thing, with me and my other best friends. Like even, when I was kind of coming out of it, it was just like a landmine. Like I didn't want to talk about it. Like it was just done. And so with, at my big age, crying about something that happened when I was 19, it really like disturbed me because I was like, I don't understand why I haven't let this go. And I, that brought up the topic of grieving friendships. And I was like, sometimes I don't think that we properly take the time to grieve friendships. I think most of the time, especially with girls, and not just because I'm a girl, so I know it firsthand. But we tend to like, okay, well it's done, and we're just moving on. But we don't treat it, like how we treat breaking up with somebody. And most of the time, it's more detrimental because a lot of times we tell our friends way more than we tell our partners. Like they know way more about us. They've been in our lives longer. That they've seen us at our worst. They've seen us be super vulnerable, and we treat it like, okay, well it's done and I'm moving on. But as me, my friendship breakups have been worse than actual breakups. Like, and the older I get, the more I cherish my friendships because I'm like, I know that, we are choosing to be in this. Like a lot of times with romantic partners, like there's a lot of factors can keep you together. You can live together, you can have children together, you're married, like all these things. But with friendships, you're choosing to love this person. You're choosing to, be in commune with this person and be around this person. So like allowing yourself to, if you are in the situation where your friendship is over, you should really give yourself time to really process your emotions, and not only process your emotions, but try to understand what's going on. And I think that sometimes friendships even need a break. Like sometimes it's not always like, okay, this friendship is about to be over forever. Sometimes it's literally just like, we are not vibing right now. And we're not seeing eye to eye. This is not working out, but I still love you to death. Like a lot of the friendships that I had to let go, like I still love them to death. But some of them, I've just chosen to sever the communication because it's like, oh my gosh, like the same thing keeps happening over and over again. Why? And it's insanity. Like if you keep, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, it's insanity. So sometimes you really have to put your foot down, but sometimes you do just have to pause. Because it's not that you don't love them, it's not that you don't appreciate them. It's just like, well, I'm gonna just let you do you, and when the time is right, we'll come together. And sometimes that the time don't ever be right again. So and that is where you really just have to decide, like, okay, how are we gonna move forward? Are we going to move forward? And if we're gonna sever this, then we still have to respect each other, and that is something that I am big on. I really believe that you need to have a certain amount of respect for your former friends, because you cannot be out here having all this like information on people and blah 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 and just spreading it. Like it's just not for you to do. I think it's just very disrespectful, and at some point it's like, just move on. I feel like the more you discuss things or whatever, the more you stay in that space. So it'd be like, okay, like I definitely, because one thing about me, I'm going to discuss situations with my friends. Like, but once you talked about it to your therapist, your parent, your other friends, whatever, like, you have to move forward. But like, don't be, I be seeing stuff on the internet, like, on TikTok and Twitter, like people airing their old friends out and whatnot. And I just be like, how sad. Like, y'all couldn't just end like on a good note. And I know now, I know some, hey now, and if somebody come for you, hey, do your thing, but don't come for anybody. Like, just learn to respect people. If people are not doing what you want them to do, whatever, like I said, you cannot control them. Just move on. When relationships are over, they are over. And sometimes even relationships and friendships, like, it be getting obsessed. Like, you really, and I think that all goes back to really taking the time to process, letting you feel your feelings and letting it go. Because if you don't let it go, you're, like I said, you're gonna get stuck. And there's no reason to be stuck, because the great thing about friendships is that you can always make new ones. And I know that sometimes that, oh baby, this is a whole nother ball game, because for me, I didn't realize how hard it would be moving to another city and making new friends. Like, I did have a little leg up because we went to school. And so, automatically you're going to make friends at school. But all of my friends after COVID, they were up out of here. And so I just, I kind of been on this LA journey a little bit alone for a minute, but it's like and then I've been on this LA journey a little bit alone. And also, like, when I left Kansas City, like, one of my best friends, also all of her best friends moved also. So I be feeling like some days I be like, well, why don't I just move back home? So then at least we'll have each other. But it's like I got this dream and I gotta fulfill it. And this is so hard, but I miss my friends. If I just go home, I'll be alright. But that's just not my journey, and it really sucks. It really sucks because I feel like which is the next phase of friendship, just like being adult friends. Whew, being adult friends is something else. And moving to a new city and finding friends as an adult, that is a whole different ballgame in itself. Because it's like, okay, like, first of all, how do I do this? I think my best friend Carly, she is exceptional at this. She always finds events to go to and things to do. Like, she is super introverted, but she's also very adventurous. So, like, she'll go to all these different Yelp classes and stuff. And I'll be like, girl, I probably just would never do that. And I'm air quote extroverted. But like, just, finding the spaces that you fit in, and then finding other people in those spaces that enjoy the same thing that you do. I feel like that's a great first step. Just getting into activities, getting out into the community, just being outside, even like using the internet apps. Like, one of my greatest friends, Robbie, I met her last year. It's so funny because I feel like I feel like I've known Robbie longer than that. But we met on TikTok. Literally, she would comment on my videos, and like one day we started messaging one another like, oh, we should like get together and blah, blah, blah. And she lived in San Diego at the time, and I live in LA. And she would literally come to LA, and we would have like these extravagant weekends and stuff. She did move back home to the East Coast though, so I have a problem with her right now. But, but no, like, really, unfortunately for the over 30 crowd, you have to put yourself out there. I know it's super whack. But just being an adult and being in friendship is so, to be honest, it is not something that I really thought about. It's just something that, it just kind of happens because my other best friend, Brie, and I, we were discussing just even the different phases of friendship in adulthood, because it's like one day you're young, you're seeing your friends all the time, y'all talking on the phone, y'all see each other at school, y'all going out on the weekend, blah blah blah, and then one day you're just older. You're older, everybody got a job, everybody got a different schedule at their job, everybody getting off work late, everybody got to get off work and go to Bible study after work, gotta go do something, that gotta go walk their dog, gotta go to their second job, gotta go hang out with their man. And literally you go from seeing one another, breathing each other's air all the time every day, to literally like, I gotta catch you when I catch you. And this is one of the hardest things that I had to do, especially with Brie, because Brie is my little boo boo muffin cake. And I remember, like, she's like my little mini me. Like, I love my Brie Bear to death. And so I remember when I realized like our friendship was changing, because Brie is the type of person, like, she's so sweet, she's always there for you. And so she is my sounding board. Like, I just, oh my gosh. Brie, everybody who loves Brie, I mean, everybody who's ever met Brie loves Brie to death. We call her Brie Bear. She's just a little boo boo. So she'll have to be on here one day. So, but like, she is just an amazing friend. And I remember coming to, it was like around the time I lived with my sister, and we used to talk like every day. And then I remember like she got a new job and things really started to change for her. And she was also like growing up within herself, because I always look at her like a little boo boo, like, oh, she's my little baby. She's only a year younger than me, but like, she's a little baby to me. And so I remember just her like really coming into her own and starting to like change as a person. And I got really scared. I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, like, I don't really like know her like I thought I did anymore. And like, how is this going to change our friendship? And like, just really, we actually ended up coming to like just a huge disagreement about it. And I really had to humble myself and be like, girl, like, hey, now look, I told y'all I was the controlling friend. And I just, if you are the controlling friend, babe, please just let it go. Put it down. Put down your sword and go take a walk. Because you cannot tell your friends what to, you are not their mother. I'm telling you now, and you will lose your friends because of it. But I think it's one of the greatest lessons in friendship that I've ever learned, because baby, Brie had to check me. And I was like, and you're 1,000% correct. Because I just was like, I don't want things to change. I want them to be the way that they are. And like, again, who the hell are you, Misha, to be telling somebody to do that? And so I'm just really grateful for all of my best friends. I just feel like we all have grown so much. We have grown so much and just been through so many different phases, and just having to learn and relearn one another and accept and talk and move throughout life together, and really just appreciate one another more, and become closer, and just be vulnerable with each other. And it's friendship is an absolutely beautiful ride. Like, if you just again let go and just let life happen and roll with the punches, like, friendship can be, I I am single right now, so I cannot say how I feel when I get my man or whatever. But as far as like right now in my life, friendship is one of the greatest. Oh my gosh. Like, I've had, boyfriends and stuff before, but the way friendship makes me feel is absolute. Like, I be feeling that in my toes. Like, I love my friends like they are my family. And I cannot imagine doing life without them. And just, taking the time to really let the, like, let them be themselves and let myself be myself. Like, I think that my friends probably know me the best. Like, obviously, my immediate family and stuff, but like your friends, they know stuff about you that you not gonna tell your family. And then, to have these people that you trust with this information, and that, they're always there for you. Like, there's never gonna be a time where they're not. And here recently, like, I've made new friends, like I said, like Robbie and Tiana, like, those are my babes. Like, love them down. But one of my best friends the other day, she was like, she was like, I just think it's so cool that you have a male best friend. And I was like, he is pretty cool. Now, the thing about it is, I am a girly girl. I have never had a male best friend. I really don't be having male friends a whole lot until I moved to Cali, and like, everybody in the film industry is a man, and like, obviously there's a bunch of women, so, but just being in this industry, and there's a lot more men that I was able to get close to and really, like, respect them and love them down. And speaking of, introvert versus extrovert, there is this guy. We went to school together, and I swear to God, you could not have convinced me that me and Deontay Gray were going to be best friends. We are completely opposite. Completely. Like, I am loud. I am a whole lot. Deontay is an introvert. He's a little boo-boo. And I never would have considered even like having a best friend, let alone one that is so like to himself. You could have never convinced me when we were in school that we were going to be best friends. And I remember just like as we got older, like, because he graduated before I did, and then like I think maybe 2 semesters later or 1 semester later, but like it was right before COVID. Everybody was already kind of like moving back to, where they were from. He's from Houston. And so, well, actually, no, he moved later. Where was you on my graduation? But, but we just, we started talking more. And it really was, I would say, like, it was the two of us, like, after everybody was kind of going home. And I I completely understand what Carly was saying. Like, thank you for making friendship with me, because I made friendship with Deontay. I'm like, you're not finna be sitting at home. Don't you want some company? Don't you want a friend? Don't you want somebody to sit with you? And I feel like Deontay was like, no, actually I don't. But I mean, I guess if you're going to invite yourself over, then okay. But no, like, I remember just completely because I'm an extrovert and also I'm an overthinker. And I used to be like, oh my gosh, I'm probably getting on this man's nerves. And one time we were at a party, and I overheard him tell somebody, oh yeah, that's Misha. She's one of my best friends. And I was like, and I remember I was talking to one of our other friends, and I was like, did you hear that? We're best friends. And I'm just like, I wonder if this man, I probably wouldn't know to this day that he considered me that, unless I would have, wouldn't have heard him say it to someone else. But long story short, I would have never considered such a close relationship with a man that wasn't, like, romantic or whatever. But I think that having a male best friend is a whole different world than having women as your friends. And I love it. As much as I love my female friends, I love my male friend. Like, it's sometimes when I'm just like spiraling, and girls, sometimes we like they be turned up with me, and I be like, let me just call Deontay, and he be like, well, man. But it is absolutely beautiful to like form this friendship and just have somebody who even gets men, more than I do, because he is a man. And I just be like, do you? I'd be like, do you think this man like me? And he'd be like, I mean, well, it sounds like he just want to be friends. And I'd be like, I mean, you really didn't have to say it like that, but okay, like, thanks for keeping me grounded. But but that it is an absolutely beautiful thing to watch. And I one of our points of contention with me, because I'm a quality time person. I'm like, okay, like, I need to be around you. I need to be, like, what's going on here? And one time, because I don't know what attachment style this is, but like when someone upsets me, I will like cut them off. Like I'll like block them, or at least I used to. Sorry guys. I'm growing in the Lord. And so he had upset me one time, which is very rare. Like he's the sweetest little peach pie. And I told him like, well, I guess we aren't friends. And my little mild-tempered boo-boo was like, is this all it takes for us to not be friends again? And I was like, in a long plethora of things. And I just was like, this man is so right. And I feel like that taught me so much, even in that, just one conversation about like other people's love languages, and really just get into the meat of a relationship and really being like, you're being ridiculous. Like, and if you have put so much into a relationship with somebody, because even in that conversation, because I think that I genuinely thought that what I was asking of him, that he wouldn't do it. So I think that I was already kind of like jumping forward to the end of it. And not only did he do it, but like has not failed to not do it. Like, I feel like even, just this one conversation allowed our friendship to open up even more. And it made me realize like, okay, I can be honest with him and I don't have to fear us not being friends. Because as much as I, with all my friends, would be like, I have this thing to say, I would still feel like, well, we probably just not gonna be friends after I say this. Like, so childish. Blech, ugh, grow up. Younger Misha, she was a pill. But just like, knowing that there's people out there that love you the way you are and really just accept you and are really like okay with working things out with you and working through life with you. It is so amazingly beautiful to me. And I absolutely adore my best friends. I love my best friends. I love my newfound friends. My sisters. Lord, I have so many people that love me and that appreciate me. And I know I'll be talking about me being laid off, but like but they support me so much. And just having people that are always encouraging and always see the bigger picture, like more than you can see. Because one thing that I also can say about D is that since he's also an artist, he's like, I see you from this perspective, which, my friends from home, they're like, well, we know you can do it. We don't exactly know what you do. but you can do it. You can do that stuff. I don't understand what you're talking about, but if you want to do it, you can do it. And he's like, well, I know what you're talking about. And you can do it. And you holding yourself back. So it's just like, getting to the point that you just have all these people that are rooting for you. And even my work bestie, I don't get to see her as much as I used to because we don't work together anymore. But I'm pretty sure we're crossing the we're not work besties anymore. We're just besties, my Jessica. But Jessica, she's funny because she is we don't act anything alike, but our friendship is one that we like truly work at, I can say. Because we would be going in on each other like, you, both, baby, She is a little Hispanic firecracker, and I am not one to be messed with. But I think that one of our biggest fears of not working together was like, oh my gosh, like, well, how are we going to spend time with each other? How are we going to see each other? And like lately, I've really been noticing. Matter of fact, I need to return her text now. But like she's really like, okay, like we need to do these things together. And I just really appreciate it because sometimes I can become so like when I'm going through something, especially like going into myself and really not um just not having a normal time and like what am I trying to say? Just I've been a little sad lately. So sometimes I'll literally just ignore my phone. Like I actually don't want to talk to anyone. I don't care about what's going on. But my friends, they are going to break down the fourth wall. They're going to get to me. Deontay, I might talk to him every 4 months, but because he don't be talking on the phone. But I tell you what, I know my friends love me. So I don't know, whatever type of friend you are, I would just say, just allow yourself to be a better friend. Don't feel like you can't learn any new lessons. It doesn't matter how old you are. And you really have to trust that your friends know you and get you. And sometimes you do have to make the decision, of people not being your friends anymore. But I just genuinely, most of the time, there's no love lost. Like, respect people, love people, let people go, let them do what they do, and hold on to, the ones that are there for you. So, this was my little dedication or love letter or whatever to friendship and my friends. And I hope that, if there's even just one person that I can touch that heard this, that learned something, that's pretty cool. So, because I'm gonna be very honest, like just losing friends over the years sometimes has made me feel like I'm not a good friend, or like I don't deserve new friends, or I don't, deserve these relationships. And it is literally my friends who be like, what is wrong with you? Like, don't say things like that. Like, what are we, chopped liver? What are we doing here? Like, you're a good friend. And sometimes you need to hear that. Like, you really do. Because these are the people who gon', stand in the paint with you. They stand in the fire. They see your good. They see your bad. And they still say, hey, you're my friend and I love you to death. And I'm going to be here with you for this lifetime. And it's a beautiful lifetime. Because having beautiful friends, honestly, is having a beautiful life. So I hope that this has blessed you all. And have a very, very happy Thursday night. Love y'all.